My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. My name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, my name is Vermin, Vermin Supreme. And you can vote, and you can vote, and you can vote for me for president if you want to. And my name is Vermin.
Hey everybody, I'm your next Vice President, Spike Cohen. Welcome to this special event, the Vermin Supreme AMA event, featuring me and my co-hosts. Dan Faust is here, and the Decorum Bot himself is here as well, and Chris Rogers is also here, and Finch Chorus. I know I've just messed your name up. I'm sorry, Finch. And then, of course, without further ado, your next President of the United States of America, Mr. Vermin Supreme himself. Vermin, unmute yourself and say hi to the folks at home.
Greetings, my fellow Americans and others. Welcome, and thank you for attending this very special evening. Now, friends, as your president, I have indeed promised to engage in hostilities only with those powers that I deem to be a real and immediate threat to our peace-loving nation. And that is why I have ordered the Strategic Space Horse Hair Command to begin the bombing of Narnia in 5 minutes. If we do not fight them in their dimension there, we will have no choice but to fight them in our dimension here. We will not stop until we have destroyed Middle Earth and the last orc is dead. The orc hordes are indeed an existential threat to our way of life, and I say stenchal because they smell. In this time of need, we must unite as a nation, and I hope that you will all pray for our fearsome flying unmanned killer robot pony drones as they rain fire and death upon our subhuman enemy and various innocent wedding parties. May our brave soldiers not be afflicted by carpal tunnel syndrome while conducting these long-distance atrocities or terrible nightmares from the horrors that they must inflict. Thank you.
Thank you, Vermin.
Hi, everybody. It's me, Vermin Supreme. I'm here to answer your questions. Go ahead. Ask me anything. Bring it on.
Well, we've already got a good number of questions here. Let me go through and see. This is a lot of people commenting all at the same time. Folks, thanks for tuning in. So we've got here. Okay, first question. Richard Kleinedinst asks, Kleinedinst, I'm going to say that name correctly at some point, asks you, is that a samurai sword that you have?
I believe this is a question for the Decorum bot.
Yes. So to answer that question, this is an Iaito. It's a training blade. I am a real samurai. That's true.
Very good. Okay. First question for the Decorum bot. And let's see what else we have here. Howdy, Vermin. How do you respond to the accusations of you being involved in a secret war between the State of Israel and the Mars monarchy as a way of siphoning oil from space?
Well, I believe that is easily disproved because I generally do not involve real places in my war planning. So you're half right. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see what else we have here. We have a lot of people saying that they love you. So I'm going to just go ahead and save some time because there's just a lot of we love you. We love you, Vermin. Hell with Narnia, Vincent Dog says. All hail, says iPencil. Let's see. Someone asked if you would appear on WWE as a character. That would be the best thing ever.
An interesting thing was I actually had an offer put forth from a wrestling club in Philadelphia. I don't recall their name. But we were in some sort of very loose negotiations of perhaps them bringing me down and actually being a wrestling figure. It would have involved taking 10 grappling lessons, and then they were going to work me into a three-part story arc, and they were actually going to pay me money on top of that. But ultimately, I don't know if I want to be thrown around that hard because that is some rough play that those kids do. Now, we are retooling the notion a little bit, and I am pitching it back that perhaps I could be in one of those manager roles. I could be one of the evil manager and jump up and sucker punch him or throw the glitter dust in my guys' opponents' faces and like that. I think that would be a lot less abusive of my body, and being an old guy like I am, I like to take it a little easy. Thank you.
That would be hilarious. So you have to take 10 grappling lessons?
Yes. Essentially, 10 of the grappling lessons that they offer or the equivalent, because you definitely know you have to know what you're doing, or else you're going to get really, really hurt instead of just a little bit hurt.
That is fine. I would have never known. Cool. All right. So let's go back to the questions here. F Narnia up. Let's see what else here. What about Blake Childers asked, what about the orcs from 40K?
The orcs from 40K? Yeah, especially them. Especially them! Thank you.
Okay. And let's see what else here. What brand boot do you wear? This you get asked this a lot. Tell us about the Tinglies.
Well, it's a very popular question. The people really want to know. Because this particular boot is indeed a miracle of industrial design. It's circa. I don't even think they make this particular model anymore, but it's pretty nice because a lot of people wonder about this thing here. What's that all about, or a boot, as they may say. But ultimately, this little knobby here, that buttons onto that, and to keep it tight around your leg. So there is that. And in direct response to that question, I wasn't trying to dodge it. It was simply a little aside. Um, it's a Tingley, Tingley, Tingley Rainwear Corporation. They are last I knew, they were a United States of America based rainwear corporation. And you can still find rubber outer boots. They're actually outer boots. It's not an actual boot because it doesn't have the all the guts that a boot would normally have. So it makes it much lighter, and has a really nice balance. And you can run in it, you can eat in it, you can sleep in it, you can swim in it. In fact, it's so comfortable that I forgot that I was even wearing it. Yes.
And fun fact, you use a Waffle House menu to keep it erect.
That is true. That is true. Otherwise, you have to keep stroking it every so often if it starts getting a little floppy, if you know what I mean.
Right. No, I know what you mean. I definitely know what you mean.
All right, we've got another question here, Spike. Icy Barrientos asked, how do you propose to end the drug war?
End the drug war. Well, that goes to a hypothetical question, and that would be assuming that I had some sort of power within my command to do just that. And it could be done by fiat, by executive order, or the waving of a magic wand would also accomplish it. Of course, you'd want to also release all those who are in the jails and the prisons for the crimes of possessing drugs that are now perfectly legal in many places and institutions. There are certainly there's been an amazing and horrible and frightening amount of collateral damage in the war on drugs. It has cost people their liberty, their livelihood. It has destroyed families, and I fully agree that it must be stopped. And I believe that obviously a number of states have changed their drug laws to be considerably more lenient and humane. But ultimately, even where they have, say for in places that it is theoretically legal, there's still a whole lot of amounts of drug and marijuana possession arrest and other type of things going on. So I will say this on a inspirational postcard type of way: the war on drugs is over if you want it.
Very good. Very good. And let's see, we have some other questions here. We were asked if you would mind giving a shout out to Nicholas Edwards, U.S. government and U.S. history students starting distance learning at Arlington High School.
Can I just do his name, or do I have to do all that other stuff too?
Just give a shout out to the Arlington High School U.S. government students.
Arlington High School U.S. government students. Yeah! Woo! Rock the house!
Perfect. And let's see what else here.
If you like government, if you like mock government and like playing government and those type of things, you might want to check out the Libertarian Party, because we play with Robert's Rules of Order. Thanks, Skippy.
Very good. Another question from Richard Clinidinst. Richard, I hope I'm saying your name even remotely correctly. He asked, what is your stance on healthcare?
I believe that, yes, people should be healthy, wealthy, and wise. I believe that my original healthcare plan was, of course, mirrored very much the plan for the United States infrastructure, and that is essentially deferred maintenance. So it's definitely about the deferred maintenance. And yeah, thank you.
Okay, very good. Still going through questions here. We are at an embarrassment of riches in going through questions. That means I have to make sure that I'm keeping up with all of them, basically. Scott Johnson asked you, how should he spend his $1,200 that he just got or will be getting?
You might want to invest that in your future, and if you invest that wisely, if you buy the proper stocks or bonds, that could see you through the rest of your life, perhaps, if you played your cards right. And speaking of cards, maybe you want to gamble it away instead and buy a whole bunch of lottery tickets. Your choice.
Definitely your choice. Okay, good. So we've got, let's see. We have someone said, John Simmons has said he's had a lot of success in talking to Bernie supporters about lending you their vote in November when he doesn't get the nomination. Do you have a message for the Bernie supporters out there?
Well, once again, of course, obviously your guy is inevitably getting screwed in the process of being screwed. And when that does in fact happen, I certainly welcome you to come on board, jump on board the Vermin Juggernaut, come on board and check out the Libertarian Party. I believe that many of your concerns are also our concerns. And when it comes down to the Venn diagram, there might be enough to just have you say, fuck it, I'm on board that shit. So thank you. Check it out. lp.org/platform. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. We had a question forwarded to Finch himself from Sean Hayes from California. He's asking, considering what we're going through with the pandemic, would you commit today to a redo of 2020?
Oh, I don't. Yeah, he didn't hear you. Dan, you're muted.
Okay, sorry. Apparently, I'm muted. Our very own Finch had a question forwarded to him from Sean Hayes of California. Considering the corona pandemic that we're experiencing right now, will you commit today to a redo of 2020?
Vermin?
Yes.
Did you hear Dan's question?
That was a question. Was that a question for Finch or from Finch?
That was someone forwarded it to Finch for you, asking if you will.
Oh, okay. I'm following it now. I thought it was a question for Finch from someone else, which would make perfect sense too. Also, Finch, what do you think? Totally. Finch agrees with me, and he gave it a big thumbs up. So I think we can totally redo 2020. And we'll do it better. It'll be a totally different time stream. We're going to hit that reset button. And once I go back in time and kill baby COVID-19, things are going to be a lot better. And once I dig that moat around America, which I will fill with Purell, and it will keep away all the microbes and the viruses and things like that. Yes, it's going to be very cost effective. Yes, and ponies equal freedom. Couldn't have said it more myself. Better myself. Yes,
absolutely.
All things being equal. Yes, are all things equal?
No. We got a bit of pushback when we initially said we were going to go back in time and kill baby COVID-19. We had a lot of people ask if we would just go back and raise it better, and I thought, well, that seems a little, extravagant. I don't want to waste taxpayer dollars raising a virus.
No, I mean, I guess we could, toss in the CRISPR and change its DNA a little bit, but no. Let's not do that.
Yeah, we're not going to CRISPR it. We'll just let's see what's here. Marshall Morgan says, how much ground beef do I need to stockpile for the pandemic?
I don't know. How many cows do you have? I guess it ultimately depends on a bit how big your freezer is, and you probably want to use a certain amount of proportion, of course, figuring that once all things go to hell, all the power's going out, and then you're gonna have to eat all that burger real quick. But Then you're gonna have a neighborhood barbecue, but then you have to maintain the social distancing things. I don't know. This whole new world is really confusing. There's a whole lot of new etiquette questions, and ground beef preparation. I guess sure, why not? About a cow's worth. Thank you.
That's fair. That's fair. We've gotten, and I mean, it's been asked so many different ways that I don't even know how to package it into one. But basically, what are your thoughts on Joe Exotic? And also, do you think that Carol Baskin killed her husband?
I only saw the first episode, so I don't have a really informed opinion on that particular subject. I do know that Joe Exotic made a brief appearance in one of the Vermin Supreme documentaries, but it was just canned footage. So there is that, and I don't know. That was something, huh?
That was definitely something. So we got a question from Nicholas Spinelli, who asked, "What is your stance on capital punishment?" And then follow-up question: "What is your stance on lowercase punishment?"
Well, capital punishment totally against. Lowercase punishment, which I assume refers to restorative justice. I'm totally for, because I think restorative justice is also a much better way to get things done. It avoids a whole lot of bureaucratic incarceration. I think it goes to keeping as many people out of the system and out of the jails as is possible. And I suppose executing prisoners is one way to get them out of the prisons, but I don't believe that it's the best way. I don't believe keeping them in prison forever is the right answer either. But I can say with certainty that I believe there's a plank that is against capital punishment in the Libertarian Party platform.
Oh, there definitely is, yeah. And so we are rebranding restorative justice right now as lowercase punishment. You heard it here, folks. Let's see. You were referred to as the boomer to end all boomers, which I think is a positive. Ethan Ball says coronavirus wouldn't have shut the country down if we had a Vermin Supreme presidency. That's absolutely true. I mean, good luck spreading. Good luck.
And if I could just address this briefly.
Sure.
I mean, there is that whole controversy over, what to call it. And I would say if, and it's a mighty big if the virus actually turned you into a Chinese person, then I think it might be accurate to call it the Chinese flu. However, since it does not do that, there is absolutely no reason to call it anything other than by its name, COVID-19, or coronavirus if you prefer.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, if anyone turns into an actual Chinese person as a result of the virus, please get in touch with us, because we definitely want to be the ones to break that. Everyone will believe us when we say it. Let's see here. What do you think about AAAAA asks, should every American get free milk so they can have extremely strong bones?
Well, obviously in the original New Green Deal, which I proposed many years ago, which involves ponies, it certainly involves a lot of agriculture, and it would involve pony milk, of course. Yeah, so with your pony, ideally you'd get a female pony in there, and there would be a supply of pony milk for you and your family.
Very good. We just had an explosion of cheesy bread questions from various people who want to know that. The short answer is you can have any combination of grain and dairy that you want. We will also have vegan and paleo and Whole30 diet compliant versions of it as well. Let's see what else we got here.
Unleavened,
of course. What good Jew wouldn't have an unleavened version? And I mean, we're in the Pesach season. We would have to have it unleavened right now. Let's see. Captain Gamma says, can you please explain the Funcentration camps for me? I need that for a 5-minute talk in school. Greetings from Germany.
Well, obviously, there's still the guard towers, right? there's like big, tall guard towers, and yeah, the guards will throw, and like the helicopter rides have bungees. So when they throw you out of the helicopter, you bounce back up, and there's going to be water slides, and all the guards are going to be like dressed up like cartoon characters with cattle prods, of course, and oh goodness, it's going to be ever so much fun, and we're going to turn that smile upside down, even if it involves actually holding you up by your legs upside down to turn that frown upside down. Sometimes that's the easiest way to do that, by the way. And of course, there will be the moat with the piranhas, the lazy river, and with the floaties and the jetpacks and you know, the roller coaster rides, and yeah, a lot of fun for the whole family if the families weren't separated.
Excellent. Okay. So we've got a new question here from Hugh Wyman asking if we can defer our pony for up to 1 year to make preparations for its care.
You know, I don't know. We'd have to run it by the policy advisors, of course. You're gonna have to check in with Mr. Dick Cheney and get the final answer on that one, of course. Deferred pony payment program. I like the sound of it, but I don't like the idea that you would be without your pony for up to a whole year. And I believe that if you had your pony, you would be just all that more motivated to you know, build that stable or you know, build that second bedroom or you know, whatever it takes to get your pony and you know, make your pony chow kitchen accessible and all those things. So maybe yes, maybe no, depends on the time stream. Thanks for asking. Have a nice day.
Very good. And a few different variations of this question with our wins in New Hampshire and Massachusetts and close races in other places.
That is like 1/25 of the country, people.
So that's a solid sample size. What is your goal moving forward to secure the Libertarian Party nomination? And you know, what do you think your chances are?
Well, I think that's almost a trick question, if not a slightly confusing question. I think the goal is to achieve the Libertarian Party nomination, and that is in fact very true. And ultimately, traditionally, the presidential nominee has been chosen at the National Presidential Nominating Libertarian Convention, which is and was and seems to still be tentatively scheduled for Memorial Day weekend in Austin, Texas. Of course, things being what they are in our current reality, that may very well be unlikely, but it could happen. However, if it happens, and if there is a quorum, the delegates are empowered to decide the nominee. And essentially, at a normal convention in a normal quadrennial year, up to 1,000 delegates that are apportioned randomly, it seems, throughout the country, they converge, and then they will start to vote. And depending on the number of candidates and the number of supporters in the various candidates' camps, there could be several rounds of voting. And it's ranked choice, correct? We do the ranked choice thing. And so yes. It adds an exciting dimension to things. And usually it goes several rounds before the nominee is ultimately known. But when it is, then that's when they let the various colored smoke come out of the chimney to let the people know outside that the Libertarians have chosen a new nominee. So that's always that's a time-honored tradition that we do as Libertarians.
It's my favorite part.
And if the contingency plan, according to the bylaws, if the convention is for some reason, some emergency or crisis reality cannot happen, then the Libertarian National Committee, the LNC, is tasked with choosing the delegate. So at this point, because every of the conventions has pretty much been canceled. And of course, that's where a lot of the candidates meet and press the flesh and hustle the candidates and try and convince them that we are definitely the best possible presidential candidate that they could ever hope to see. And a lot of that often takes a lot of convincing, and it's considerably more effective face to face. So given this new reality, we are reaching out to the delegates. Obviously, we are reaching out to the LNC itself. We are doing our own little lobbying campaign, if you will. I'm going to start calling the various delegates and attempt to make that one-on-one connection that sometimes is needed to really make people understand what the dealio is, as you kids like to say. So there's that. Of course, I think we're just going to crank out our social media, try and maximize our online presence, and continue onward as if we are in fact already the president of America. And that's our strategy. Just continue acting presidential. As you may have noticed, more of my I don't know. I just exude a lot more gravitas and stuff, and like it's like a just more serious sort of vibe and stuff. I don't know if you picked that up recently and stuff, but I'm trying to like really like show that like I could be the president and stuff, and so there's a lot of that. Just like thinking like a president. And trying to exude this sort of presidentialness. Here, hold on a sec. I'm going to try and look all presidential here for you. Just a sec. Let me get in the space here. Wait a minute. No. Got to get the presidential angle exact.
And that right there, folks, is why Vermin Supreme needs to be our next president of the United States. So we've got a question that was sent in by Dr. Michael Fricky. He would like to know, considering the current COVID pandemic, should we be coming together to stay apart or staying apart to come together?
Yes. With the appropriate distance and appropriate recommendations, of course. And it's about maintaining our heart connection, maintaining our mental connectedness with one another, by looking each other in the eyes over a Skype or a Zoom, or really focusing in on our feelings for other people and for our friends and for our family and even complete strangers. And so, yes, I've been asking people to do an exercise that helps with this, and it just involves, closing your eyes and just taking a few breaths and relaxing and picture somebody that you love and somebody that you really enjoy hugging or really miss hugging. I mean, they could, and just picture their face and picture them coming to you and stepping up, and you're stepping to each other. And you're reaching out your arms and you're wrapping your arms around one another and you're holding each other tight and you're just feeling that love and you're just feeling it. And yeah, just let those serotonins and oxytocins and endorphins just sort of melt into your body, man. And yeah, we did. This is definitely a time of a crisis, and we do all have to stay together. Although we can't be physically together, we can certainly be emotionally connected. We definitely must make sure check in on all our friends, and we all have, we know the friends that might have anxiety as a result of this situation, or might be prone to depression states, or sometimes they're linked and they go back and forth with that one. I know that one, and check in and talk your friends down. I mean, it's a highly stressful time. I mean, being a little scared, freaking out, for goodness sake, is perfectly rational and reasonable response, but the trick is to not let it become overwhelming. Don't get overwhelmed with it. Don't let it turn into a feedback loop that renders you less powerful than you are. We got to maintain our balance, maintain our focus, and realize that we will all get through this together by helping one another and with our love and our compassion. Shopping for the elderly neighbors, and it's obviously getting scarier, and it's going to get worse, but before it does get better, and a lot of people will pass, and they will die as a result of that, and that's what makes it such a frightening pandemic, unlike the flu or something else. It's a slow rolling thing with not a lot of people dying all at once, but that's going to happen, and I don't think any of us will get out of it without at least knowing somebody who knew somebody who passed away, and so we have to be compassionate for that and aware of that, and have that in mind. And certainly humor and dark humor and black humor and making scary jokes about plagues and stuff is certainly a way that a lot of people do cope, but I would caution you to just be a little aware because of the impact it might have on people. Unless you're just trolling people, in that case, you're a horrible person. Thank you.
Right.
Yes.
In other words, don't do that. Yeah. So we had about 50 questions asking about various things about the cheesy bread. Listen, you can have whatever you want to call cheesy bread. We will give that to you. Someone asked if it would be Tom Brady diet compliant. Sure. Yes. Let's see. Someone said, let's see, where was it? Someone asked, Thomas Gatto says, my son is watching this instead of doing his homework. Should I pretend not to be proud of him for this?
Extra credit. This is like extra credit. This is a political education. This is very important stuff going on here.
This is very important.
This is the fate of the nation we're discussing.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true. So yes,
so
not only
what about toppings on the cheesy bread?
Yes. Any whatever you want on there. I'm perfectly fine with it.
What about pineapple?
Well, I mean, one of our political opponents says that should be legalized, and I leave that between you and him to battle that out. I'm neutral on that. If you want to consider that a topping, then, I may not agree with it, but I'll fight to the death your right to say it.
Now I think that brings us to a point. I mean, because some places actually have their pizza without the marinara sauce, and sometimes you can order just cheese on a pizza with just cheese or a white pizza. Is that cheesy bread?
I mean, again, if we're talking a dairy and a grain put together, even if it's put together separately, put together in your gastrointestinal system, then I see no reason for any kind of bureaucratic system we create to determine that's anything other than cheesy bread. I think that we're going to end up with a lot of federal lawsuits if we don't, and we're not respecting of other cultures and things like that. If you combine a grain of some kind, even a paleo grain, and some kind of a dairy, even a vegan dairy, then in my mind, I can't see how we could not end up running afoul of the Equal Protection Clause and possibly even the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Is this some sort of a bureau of measurement, weights, and standards? I mean, will there be who will assure us that it's quality cheesy bread? Who's going to protect us from crappy cheesy bread?
Well, that would be the Cheesy Bread Consumer Protection Bureau.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's standard stuff, guys. Let's see here.
What about enforcement? Isn't that going to lead to some sort of enforcement arm?
Well, that would be what the Cheesy Bread Consumer Protection Enforcement Agency would be.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, Spike, if you don't have something right on cue,
I do not.
Taking a consolidation of a lot of the different questions that are coming up, as well as giving a shout out to apparently Medical Marijuana of Florida, which is a small family-run operation that has 7 employees that they're trying to keep people able to get their medicines and everything else throughout all this pandemic, one of the big questions that's come up a lot of times on this is what's your stance on medical marijuana? And do you support some of the restrictions that are in place in a lot of places where people are losing their Second Amendment rights if they also happen to have a medical marijuana card?
No, that's just plain stupid. Plain stupid.
Archaic.
I mean, if no, I mean, marijuana ain't alcohol. Fucking, it's just like, come on, people might like to shoot their guns at the range and smoke a little weed, and no, that's stupid.
Archaic.
And archaic, and cruel and unusual, and just plain fucking stupid. And what was the first part of the question? Where do I stand on it? Yeah, man. I mean, free the weed, grow your own. Yes. I smoke dope. I smoke grass. And if you don't like it, you can kiss my ass. Thank you. I'm Vermin Supreme. I approve this message.
Excellent. Thank you so much for
I'm smoking it right now.
Thank you so much for giving your take on that, Vermin. I do know that a couple people have also asked, as we did before the stream went live, regarding your current background for this live stream.
Yes. Check that out. It is some sort of weird, surreal art type of cloth that's been in the family for many, many years, a couple generations now, and we put it. It's covering our windows because it's still a little chilly here, and it's a little bit of the insulation that keeps us warmer from the outside world. Because obviously the natural world is trying to kill us. That's very clear and has been for quite some time. Man versus nature, and I sure hope this crisis doesn't turn people into like full-on germaphobes and fearful, more fearful of things. I hope we all maintain our sense that I don't know. I think it's time for a sequel to that Germs and Steel book, though. Maybe.
Yeah, it feels a little like Bird Box out right now. I have a question for you actually. Who put the are those sequins or studs on your boot? That's a new accoutrement on your boot there. Who did that?
Oh yes, this was we added these on Mardi Gras, and actually they're like little stick-on rhinestoney plastic gemmy things essentially. So yeah, we totally bedazzled it.
You bedazzled. You boot dazzled.
Yeah.
Nice.
Boot dazzled it, and yeah, and it's nice because it does look pretty punky at a distance. It does look like studs or something, Sure.
And it goes with your glasses too. It goes with the.
Yeah, true.
All right, let's see here. Oh man. What is your stance on legalizing cocaine?
Yeah, sure. I'm not going to put you in jail for it. That's for sure.
Very good.
I trust you to know you. I mean, once again, of course, I prefer responsible drug use, but that's just me. You're going to get sloppy. I hope you have somebody lined up to take care of you. I hope you have contingency plans. Once again, I think we all. I mean, there's a huge difference between functional junkies and ones that do not have their shit together. So once again, it comes back down to personal responsibility. If you're gonna do such hard drugs, which I don't recommend, but I'm not gonna say no. I mean, that may be your jam, might be your buzz, but you just gotta know that gotta know your limits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, no, I get that. So we got a question. Someone sent a question to Finch. Do you have a fun activism story from your past, a direct action story that you can tell us?
That's a question for Finch?
No, that's a question for you.
Oh, okay, question for me. Oh, let's see. There's so many fun things. I'm gonna say in 1996, I had a pamphlet with the mandatory toothbrushing law on it, and I was working a delegate gate. It was at the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. I guess it was in 1996, as I said, and there was this checkpoint with the delegates would be coming in, and this cop came up to me and asked me. The cop said to me, "Excuse me, sir, I'd like to ask you to move. I'd like you to ask you to leave this spot." And normally, I think most people, I think me up to that point, probably would have complied, but something clicked into my mind, and I said, "No, thank you. I'm very happy where I am. Thanks for asking." And he left and he went away. And so then later, the same event, I think that was the same year that I saw Fred Phelps for the first time with their whole Westboro Baptist Church mess.
Right.
And I was quite confused. I wasn't sure that it wasn't parody. I really thought it was just a full-on goof because their signs were so stupid, and he was like all looking all stupid too. Uh, in that same year, we were in the protest pit, which was a big pen. There was nobody in it but me and a couple of friends and some cops. And the cops were like on the far away side of it. And some friends of mine, I saw the Unabomber for President campaign came out of the convention, and they had credentials. And as they came up, I looked down at my feet, and I noticed that for some reason, the Chicago police had left. They had set down their baby blue riot helmets on the ground. They were about like 10 feet, 10, 15 feet apart down the line, and the cops were nowhere near them. And so I picked up one of these helmets and stuck it on my head and just was like, look at me, look at me, I'm a riot cop. And my friends were laughing, but the next thing I know, this cop come up behind me and just started losing it, and he starts screaming, my helmet, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay. And just tried to like talk him down, but he was fucking losing it. And so okay, so that played out, and I didn't get arrested and all that. So we were down at this down at the park, the Yippies. I guess it was one of the last Yippie things. They were recapturing the good times of '68 if they could, and they had a small demonstration, and we were going to march up. So they had this march. So we start marching up to the convention center where we were going to peacefully assemble and redress our grievances and whatever. So one of the protesters was a woman, and she was topless, and she had a Hillary Clinton mask on. And so she was walking, and it was like, it seemed like it was no big deal because we were walking for blocks, and it was like no harm, no foul. But at one point, as we got close to the convention center, there was apparently there's a whole bunch of cops lined up, and after they consulted with one another, they said, "Hey, I guess we should arrest her." And so they came in and went to arrest this woman, and so it was just like such a crazy little scene, and all the media is there, of course, because the media is so drawn to that sort of excitement. And I got to see this television reporter with this big ass TV camera from back in the day fall over backwards over this fire plug because he was so focused in walking backwards trying to get the titty shot. So the police they had this sister in custody, and for some reason, just because of our proximity, I was in the police circle, and for some reason, because of our proximity, my wife Becky ended up in the middle of this circle. So it was this Becky, my wife, and this Hillary Clinton topless woman, and they started negotiating with the cops. And I was sitting there, I'm standing there essentially shoulder to shoulder with all these cops next to the head cop on the scene. And so there's this ring of cops, Becky and this topless Hillary woman, and me in the ring of cops, and all the media that's just crowding in. So there was hardly any room for for any negotiations to go on, or for the woman to comply, or for anything to go on. So the head cop says, "We need to create a little space," and I said, "Yeah, that's a great idea." So we turned around. They all whipped out their nightsticks, and I whipped out my 6-foot toothbrush, and we just started, move back, and I joined in with the police with the toothbrush, and it was just so fucking crazy. Yeah, that was funny.
That is funny. We had a
media crowd. Let me give you another quick thumbnail. This was a pretty snazzy one. It was at the RNC, Republican National Convention in New York. I think it was 2004. We were on our way to this event. We were crossing the street, but there was this parade coming down the street, and I was still waiting for some friends. So what I did is I just lied down on the crosswalk. It was a hot summer day. I just lied down on the crosswalk, and I made this pronouncement: I am tired of these demonstrators, and I will not let this parade come by. So as soon as I hit the asphalt, I immediately became a media magnet, and I was surrounded by about 30 or 40 media people, and there's no escape, and they start filming and taking pictures and yelling questions. And so I stand up and I start doing this bit like, "Help me, somebody help me. I'm surrounded by the media and they won't let me go. I can't escape. Help me." And in the meantime, the parade is getting closer and closer and closer until it's like a couple dozen feet away. And the next thing I know, this wedge of riot cops comes breaking through the media clusterfuck, scoops me up, and then fucking takes me away to the other side of the police line. Now, in the meantime, my wife Becky, who pays very close attention to these things, saw the white shirts, the cops in charge, starting to huddle up with their guys, and so she knew that something was going down, and it was involved me. And she went up and told them, "Hey, he's only a clown, guys. Only a clown. He's not trying to get arrested like that." And so she watched my ass and softened him up. And I was behind the police lines, and the cop again, he yelled at me a little bit, wanted me to feel bad. But then he said, "So are you with them?" Pointing to the parade. And I said, "Yes." And he just kicked me through the barrier, and we went on our way.
That's a great story. So we have two questions here. One I can actually answer. Someone said,
does it involve cheesy bread?
I'm sure it probably does deep down. No, this one's how can people get involved in your campaign if they want to? So you can reach out to us on Facebook at Vermin Supreme for President. You can reach out to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Vermin Supreme Official. You can reach us on Twitter at Vermin Supreme, or you can contact us if you go to verminsupreme2020.com and click on contact, you can reach us there, and we'd love to have you join the team. The other question was from, let me pull it up, where is it now? From Yan Noisette, I think I'm saying that correctly. Greetings from France. Yan is asking if
Bonjour.
Yan is asking.
J'aime le fromage.
Is asking if you would accept all migrants and if you support open borders to migration.
Well, that's a very simple slam dunk question. The answer is yes. I agree with the Libertarian Party platform plank regarding such things, and it clearly states that the free flow of capital and the free flow of humans is integral to a flourishing economy. So yes, of course, plenty of details to work out, and I haven't really been given that much thought, but certainly all for open borders, and people should be able to travel throughout the world wherever they want. That is my opinion. As an anarchist, of course, not a big believer in borders, artificial constructs. But what are you going to do? You know, I smoked weed in 2 states at once the other day. Speaking of borders,
Yeah, we saw that. That was what were the 2 states?
that was New Jersey and Pennsylvania.
Nice. And that's you were on that border, and yet no one had to determine that you weren't a threat to one of those states before allowing you to cross as you wanted to. So why would that be any difference between any other borders? Migration, like ponies, should of course be free. Let's go with a couple more questions, and then we can close out. This was originally going to be an hour, but we got quite a bit of activity here, so let's go with a couple more questions. And let's see here. Oh, by the way, Jan says merci beaucoup to your question. We had
Très bien.
oui. Raymond Dobson says, can you tell us your thoughts on disaster relief efforts and your ideas on volunteerism?
Well, I am all about volunteerism. You know, I am all about voluntary mutual aid. And of course, Raymond is a good friend of mine from the Rainbow Land, and I'm sure he's prompted me to recall and regale the tales of the disaster relief kitchens that the Rainbow family put on in conjunction with in Waveland, Mississippi after Katrina. It was in conjunction with the Bastrop Baptist Church out of Texas, I believe, and after Sandy, it was with the Occupy Sandy organization, and they were indeed both major relief efforts, and of course there was a number of others, and it's a very important and critical and amazing way to help the people when they need the help. Of course, check it out. Google up Waveland Cafe, a new Waveland Cafe. There's some great video from that. It was an amazing moment because essentially when that happened, when that disaster happened, when Katrina happened, the Rainbow family that of course gathers in the forests every year and every day pretty much has great experience in terms of feeding large groups of people and working with very little. And when they had heard that this disaster had occurred, they all got together. It was like this hive mind. It was like, whoa, we've got to do something. And they came together and converged on the disaster area, disaster zone, and literally had to, clear roads to go through. Had to like wangle their way past checkpoints that the National Guard and the state police had set up to prevent people from going in, and they had it was just a total amazing synchronicity. People meeting up who had the same mission, which was to help feed the people and help alleviate this terrible thing that had come on. And that's exactly what happened. And supplies poured in, and personnel poured in, and it was it was an anarchistic organization. It was horizontally organized. It was decisions were made in council, and these kitchens and they were able to offer medical help. We were able to attract medical students and various practitioners to offer various disciplines to survivors of these things. And of course, that will get more important as more disasters happen, as the climate continues to change. Now this disaster, holy crap! I mean, how do we even begin to apply such a model to this particular disaster? And all I can see is that it's going to have to be, much more decentralized. I mean, obviously there are projects going on as we speak that are feeding the people and helping people out. I know Ohio libertarians put up a not school lunch program to help feed the kids that don't have school lunches to count on anymore. And there's any number of people helping to get food to the homeless and to people who need it and to shut-ins and all of these things. Of course, a lot more precautions are necessary, and it seems it can't be so centralized. So it's so many different logistics are involved. But I believe that we're all pretty smart, and a lot of people have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. And I think a lot of people are putting their heads together and doing what needs to be done to get as many people through this crazy bullshit as possible.
Very good. So we're going to end with this final question from Vincent Dog. Well, actually, Skeletor, the alcoholic skeleton, has called you his father and asked if you can tell him that you love him. Let's do
I
that.
love you, son.
Okay.
I love you.
Thank you. And then let's see. Okay, so Vincent Dog, who has been very patient, has asked this question a few times. Apparently, and we missed it. He says, basically, do you think that the Libertarian Party is going to end up replacing one of the major two parties, or do you think that it's going to end up just becoming a competitive third party?
I can't really say. I mean, I can say one step at a time. Obviously, we are, third largest maybe, and we're rapidly growing. And so if we can continue this growth and people keep shedding off of the duopoly and still give some credence to electoral politics, then I do believe that the Libertarian Party is certainly a very worthwhile and reasonable option. We definitely need a third or fourth or fifth or sixth or more parties. I think more parties equal more democracy, and more competitive a third party is, the more responsive the duopoly will have to become. Currently, things are getting wacky. I mean, this is the time where many candidates and parties would be collecting signatures in order to obtain ballot access, and for obvious reasons that is not occurring currently and not able to occur. So there is a lot of concern on behalf of a lot of candidates and a lot of parties, about ours included, about what about that? I mean, and there is a movement, open the ballots, hashtag open the ballots. And we're trying to convince or lobby or let the Secretary of States and the governments know that they should simply waive their regulations. Let whoever wants to be on the ballot for this particular point in time. I mean, hell, they don't even know how the actual voting will occur. So these are very tricky times, and the duopoly seems to be, very happy to let the third parties get be a casualty of this great COVID disaster. So we can only hope that we can become a competitive third party, and then perhaps ultimately the only party.
Well, folks, thanks again for tuning in for this AMA event. Vermin, before we tune out and let you go, is there anything that you have to? Well, first, let's see. Dan or Finch or Decorum Bot, is there anything any of you would like to say to the folks before we sign off?
Sure, I'd like to just hop on, say thank you, everybody. I know a lot of people are at home since they're not working and schools have been canceled and everything else lately. But we definitely appreciate you taking some time out of your night, listening to what Vermin has to say. Have a little bit of fun. This has gone really well. Hopefully, we will be doing some more of these in the future.
Oh yeah, yeah.
With that being the case, I encourage you to tune into the next ones. Tell your friends. Get those people that are on the fence and are realizing that, especially with this current crisis, that the government intervention and solutions to things really, in many cases, has made things worse. Voluntary action with your fellow citizens has come together to fill in many of those gaps that have taken place. I think that's the way forward, and I don't think there's anybody better to help us to spread that message and put it into action than the one and only Vermin Supreme, and that this is the way.
Absolutely. Decorum Bot or Finch, anything you'd like to add?
Sure, I'll go for a second. So Vermin Supreme's campaign has always been about compassion and actually treating each other nicely in the face of all of these really difficult things. And I just wanted to remind people that besides all of the jokes and all of the satire, the important things to remember while we're going through a traumatic situation globally together is to treat each other kindly and gently and look after each other. And I think that Vermin has been a shining example of that. And I wake up every morning to see his post telling us that we are loved and wishing us good morning. And Vermin, I love you. And a whole bunch of people in a Rainbow Conference call on the side right now are also sending their love to you.
Yeah, much love to the
Loving
Rainbow.
you. We love you.
And
people.
And Decorum Bot, any final thoughts?
Well, I just wanna add, Vermin really does love you. It's not just a slogan. He really does. And of all of the candidates out on the campaign trail right now, I can say beyond a shadow of a doubt, he is by far the most compassionate and the most genuine person right now campaigning to be your president. Also, don't be a bigot.
Yeah, don't be a bigot. Okay, and Vermin, final thoughts from you before we close out.
Well, I just wanted to thank you very much for tuning in, for listening, for watching, for being interested enough to ask questions. We all have opinions, we all have feelings, we all have ideas of how things should be. I've never ever felt that that my opinions were any more important than anybody else's. I've never wanted to be perceived or act in the capacity of a pundit. This particular presidential race has been a little bit different for me because in a lot of instances, I'm called forth to, at least have some semblance of some sort of authoritative presidential response to various things at various points. All formats are very different, and I think this was a very interesting format. If you want, do I want to apologize? I mean, I feel like I'm sorry if it wasn't as serious as maybe some things could have been, or if it was not. I don't know. I can say that like I say, all the formats are different. All the debates were all very different. Each debate had its own flavor, depending on the moderator, depending on the participants, depending on were you standing in a podium for 2 hours, or were you sitting at a card table, or how close were you? There were so many different factors, and because this sort of type of thing is still a little new, I'm not totally comfortable. Just I don't mind talking about myself a lot, of course, because I know me, but a lot of these other things that sometimes I'm called forth to talk about. I mean, what am I? Some sort of authority or something? So I want to thank you very much, and I want to thank especially any delegates that are tuning in. Obviously, it is my presentation, the thing that I do, and the jokes and the making fun of things that has certainly propelled me to this point where people want to see what I'm saying or care or give a fig or care. And I'm trying. I want to do you proud. I'm trying my best here, and I'm going to do my best. I want to be the best darn libertarian presidential nominee that you'll ever see. Because obviously there's a very clear, a very stark choice in timelines that will be presented to us all in a few short months. And I think you all should go for the most interesting one. That's what I'm saying. Take a chance with me. 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 All right. Little ABBA there for you. I wasn't planning that, but there it was. So anyway, back to closing up remarks here. Thanks again. Keep the faith. Take care. Check on your people and exercise special extra patience with the ones you're living with and your loved ones, because we're all going to go crazy after a while of this. And so, take this opportunity to catch up on your reading, to catch up on your binge watching, to catch up on your creative pursuits. Let's make some art out of this mess and, give some very serious thought about what kind of world that we want to see, what kind of world we want to live in, and how we can achieve these goals. And so, thank you again, and loving y'all. Take care.
And thank you, Vermin. And folks, thanks again for tuning in to this Vermin Supreme AMA that we just did. We will definitely be doing more of these, so if we didn't get to your questions, we apologize, but stay tuned for future ones. If you have a question that's just burning a hole in your pocket there, be sure to reach out to us on whatever social media platform you're using, or shoot it over to info@verminsupreme.com, or go to verminsupreme2020.com, or go to verminsupreme2020.com and press contact. Reach out to us on social media, on either Facebook at Vermin Supreme for President, or Twitter at Vermin Supreme, or youtube.com/Vermin Supreme Official, or verminsupreme2020.com. We'd love to hear from you, and we will definitely be doing another one of these very soon. And in the meantime, thanks again for tuning in, and we invite you to join us as we ride our ponies into a zombie-powered future with cheesy bread and a badger for all. Thank you so much.